Welcome to Psychopinion. This is our March Madness Directors Edition. We will be having all of the best horror directors facing off against one another until we find out who truly is the best horror director. This is the semi-final round. So stay with us and let's see who wins this thing. You know, you're a real jerk if you don't subscribe.
And now for a recap.
If you've been paying attention, or with us up till now, I'm sure you get the gist. We're going to show you two directors, a bracket, discuss who we think will win, and then reveal the winner. We're very excited to see who comes out on top at the end of all of this. Also, please subscribe, and if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button. Yeah, do that shit. Welcome everybody back to Psychopinion. We are still on our March Madness brackets. This has been a lot of fun, and we have finally come down to our final 5 brackets. One of those being the ultimate winner, so really 4 brackets and a winner. I don't know how that's said, but that's what we're doing. That's where we're at. So, to give you guys a really quick little update, we had Tom Holland and Mike Flanagan, and in that situation, Mike Flanagan took the win. We had David Lynch versus Roman Polanski, with Roman Polanski pulling the win. David Cronenberg beat Joe Dante. We had Jordan Peele absolutely obliterated Rob Zombie, and I'm still curious as to how and why. Steve Miner was beat by James Wan. And sadly, probably the saddest one to me of the whole first round was Dario Argento beat Tobe Hooper. After that, we ended up into the first semifinal round, if you will, and we had Guillermo del Toro versus Mike Flanagan, and del Toro took it. John Carpenter went up against Wes Craven, two of the big dogs of this whole fight here, and John Carpenter ended up pulling it out from Wes Craven. Sam Raimi ended up going against Roman Polanski, and Polanski beat Sam Raimi as well, which that was also shocking me. So Polanski took out Lynch and Raimi. After that, we had David Cronenberg against Eli Roth, and Cronenberg took it from Eli Roth. Ari Aster was against Jordan Peele. Ari Aster was against Jordan Peele. And Jordan Peele won, thankfully. Ari Aster is not my cup of tea. Clive Barker was beat by M. Night Shyamalan. And then Robert Eggers beat James Wan, leaving our last match of the night, which was Dario Argento versus George A. for Awesome Romero, and Romero took the win. So tonight, what we're looking at and what we're going to do is we're going to have Guillermo del Toro versus John Carpenter, Roman Polanski versus David Cronenberg, Jordan Peele versus M. Night Shyamalan, and Robert Eggers versus George Awesome Romero. So we're going to go ahead and start this one off tonight with Guillermo del Toro versus John Carpenter. And even though we discussed in the previous episodes, if you've been keeping up with us, what their movies are that are representing them, I will go ahead and give you that again. So John Carpenter, we've got The Thing, They Live, and Halloween. And that is up against Pan's Labyrinth, The Devil's Backbone, and Blade 2 of all things. So, I've done all the hard work here, guys. Now, why don't you go ahead and let me know what you think of this matchup?
I think Guillermo del Toro, just because of Pan's Labyrinth, I thought it was just very unique, and it's just a fascinating, it's a fascinating watch, and it's just the visuals are just so entertaining.
Okay.
I definitely agree. Although Carpenter has maybe deep in my heart one of my favorite horror thing. Pan's Labyrinth is right there.
Right next to The Thing?
Right next to it's actually in The Thing. Pan's Labyrinth is inside the dog, which is The Thing. And
I never saw that version.
Yeah, well, they did that in The Thing too. I got to agree, I think, with Liza in this one. I think that Pan's
You
Labyrinth.
are switching
I
from
am.
John
Although I
Carpenter.
love
John
The
the
Thing, and I love
Mm.
John Carpenter, but there's something about Pan's Labyrinth. I've watched it several times, and every time I do, I'm trying to bring somebody in who hasn't seen it before. It's that special of a movie. So it's either one of my kids or my wife or a friend or something like that who hasn't seen it. So, and I've never really done that with The Thing for John Carpenter. So I'm going to go.
I am honestly
Pan's
shocked.
Labyrinth.
I am shocked that you are going from John the Thing Carpenter.
That's right.
Shocked
Guillermo.
too, actually.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm shocked as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were
That he-
joining him. I was going to
No,
say, holy crap, you guys
I
both
mean-
backed out, huh?
I mean, I was really on the fence about this one for like a while because honestly, I mean, yeah, both of these guys are very high up on my list. They both have done some movies that I absolutely love. This is one of the hardest choices for sure out of this whole thing.
Really?
I'm still going to go with Carpenter though. And I
Okay.
think it's because, I don't know, like Carpenter leans a little more towards science fiction, and Del Toro leans a little more towards fantasy, which I also love. I love both of those genres very much.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, like Carpenter is also a little older. He's done a few more movies. I don't know. I feel like it like takes seniority or something. Some of these guys have done a lot more than some of the others.
Yeah.
So I think they're more well known. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
and
with Carpenter on this one.
Well, throughout this thing, we've discussed like other movies that they've done, and I'm with you. I have to look at kind of them as a whole person as well.
Yeah.
For this particular bracket, we are focusing on the top 3 movies based on popularity from many sources that I researched. I kind of, even tend to agree a little bit. Guillermo del Toro is definitely a force to be reckoned with, but I'm going to have to go with John Carpenter, and part of that is going to have to do with just nostalgia's sake, I think.
Yeah.
So, well, what do you mean? Yeah, you picked Del Toro, right?
No, I mean,
Switch sides
no.
now?
No. I'm definitely going with the Del Toro. It's just, I can understand the nostalgia. I mean, because I was almost swayed because of nostalgia, but I mean, just I don't know. I just thought the Guillermo del Toro just is very unique.
He
And I
is.
also just burned through the Cabinet of Curiosities again a couple nights ago, just because we were
Nice.
talking about it, and
Yeah.
there are a couple of real. There's some that are okay, certainly better than
Agreed.
others, but there were a
Yeah.
few episodes or shorts within that grouping that are stand on their own quite well.
Yeah.
Really like the autopsy one. I really like that.
Oh yeah, that one.
I won't
was
get
really
into
good.
those, but I think
Yeah.
that's why he's a little more on my mind right now.
Right.
Hey, Del Toro's on my mind. All right, so we've got 2 for Carpenter, 2 for Del Toro. Let's go ahead and see what the people think. John Carpenter.
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, me either.
Well, it's I think it was a sweet victory either way. Quite
Was he
honestly,
blown out of the water, or was it a close one?
This one was a lot closer. This was a little under 5 points.
Okay.
So,
Close. Yeah.
yeah, we were a lot closer on this one than a lot of the other ones. Sure as hell a lot closer than like the Peele zombie match. I mean, that thing was a friggin' massacre. One of these days I'll figure out why. If you guys ready, we'll move on. All right, our second match of the night. 2 what I would consider to be artistic style directors of horror, and that is Roman Polanski versus Jens Boo, David Cronenberg. David Jens Boo Cronenberg.
I think you already know who I'm going to pick for this. I have to. My heart belongs to him.
Well,
Literally,
if
I
you
will give
don't,
him my heart out of my body. He could have it.
well, if you don't, it's going to be really weird because I've just made a big deal about how he's your boo. So.
Yeah.
A little recap here. David Cronenberg is up there for Videodrome, The Fly, and Dead Ringers. Whereas we have Roman Polanski up there for Knife in the Water, Repulsion, and Rosemary's Baby.
Well, I guess I'll say something. Yeah, I'm going to go. Although I do like Jeff Goldblum, and
Well, according to
Yeah.
Liza,
An
Jeff
actor.
Goldblum has actually won this whole thing for David
That's right.
Cronenberg. So
that's right, we're not talking about anybody other than Jeff Goldblum and 7 Degrees of him.
apparently, at the end of this, the winner will be Jeff Goldblum.
That's right.
Oh, that works for
Yeah.
me. I love him too.
Yeah, or Rowan Atkinson. Let's get him involved. So
I don't think we could.
probably. Well, he's close to Roman Polanski, and as far as his spelling. And I'm going to go with Roman Polanski because of The Ninth Gate, like I said last time. That's just my feel-good, not so much even horror movie. And if that was on split screen with The Fly, I'd probably watch The Ninth Gate. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And I kind of want to combat what Jen wants to pick it.
Yeah.
So we've got, right now, we've got Polanski for 1 and Cronenberg for 1. Liza, you think Jeff Goldblum's going to take this one?
No.
Are you going with Cronenberg?
No.
Or are you going with Polanski?
Neither.
She's going with
You only
Nye.
have
I don't
two
know who Nye is.
Well, yeah, it is kind of like a hard decision, but ultimately, I think Rosemary's Baby would probably take over. I just think that's a really, really good movie. And even though it's like it's older, it still has like it's like has such a creepiness that it's scary. Like it's cheesy. Well, not really cheesy, but you know, like older movies can be kind of cheesy, but it still like has that just underlying creepiness to it.
Well, I think it's an interesting story that's really stood the test of times. I mean, honestly, I watch Rosemary's Baby from time to time. Like I said, it's one of my classic all-time favorites. And quite honestly, I don't think the story has really changed for me over the years. I think it's probably just as good as it was when I watched it when I was younger. So it definitely holds up. For me, the way I look at this is it's kind of like The Fly versus Rosemary's Baby. And yeah, there's other movies that these guys have done that I like, but The Fly and Rosemary's Baby are both like in that top tier of horror for me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're fighting right now in my head. And
Yes. Yeah.
honestly, I think I'm going to have to go with Jeff Goldblum on this one.
Nice.
I'm not
Let's
mad
go
at
ahead.
it.
Yeah, I'm not mad either.
It's everybody's a winner tonight. So let's go ahead and see what the people think. Cue the machine. And the winner is Roman Polanski.
Oh,
Imagine
okay.
that.
Roman Polanski for the win. Rosemary's Baby has stepped on the fly.
I was going to
Playing with
say,
my heart.
maybe Jeff Goldblum could come in and salvage something, but
Well, maybe if Jeff Goldblum played the part of Rosemary's Baby,
that's true.
this would have had a different result. I don't even know if he was born then. Maybe he's kind of old, so maybe. But he could have been a baby. That'd be interesting. I mean, maybe he was. I
Probably
don't know.
born. He was probably
Could have been his
young.
first. Could have been his first role.
I could hear him doing his classic voice as a baby.
Yeah.
You I can't even do it, so I'm not going to try, but that would be
Yeah.
funny.
You're pretty limited to
Definitely.
Raymond most of the time.
That's true.
So,
Right.
all right. Well, Polanski took this round against Cronenberg. Let's go ahead and see what's. If you're still with us, we just saw a huge upset for Jen. Roman Polanski beat David Cronenberg. Jen is still not recovered quite yet. but she probably will while I announce our next match of the evening. And our next match of the evening is, this is a good one, guys, M. Night Shyamalan versus Jordan Peele. I don't know why, but I feel like this is like a good match. For whatever reason.
I
It
don't
feels...
I
It
feel-
feels right.
I feel like M. Night Shyamalan is who Jordan Peele wants to be, or who he could eventually evolve into, but I don't think Jordan Peele's there yet. I just don't.
I think we're talking Jordan and LeBron right now. That's right.
So, for M. Night Shyamalan, we have The Sixth Sense, Split, and Signs. And I bet you can't guess what 3 movies we have for Jordan Peele. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's the only 3 movies he's ever made. It's Get Out, Us, and Nope.
Didn't he make like one more movie though?
Well, I think he was involved with that movie about the talking
Candyman
cat or
too?
something, maybe.
Oh yeah.
The Talking
Didn't he
Cat.
do Candyman?
Yeah,
Is that him or
Keanu,
was that Key?
that was Key?
Oh,
But he
was
was
it?
actually in it. But I don't know if Peele actually produced it or had part in it. But,
Oh.
I mean,
okay.
if you want to take all of his 378 side hustles out of Nope, then maybe it stands maybe taller than just the 3 movies. But
Nope was a very disjointed movie. I know we said that the last round when Peele won and beat the crap out of Rob Zombie, but that is such a disjointed movie to me. Like, it was so hard to keep up with what was actually happening in that movie to me. And I think it's because I got interested in the side plots, like I said in the previous episode. Us, I mean, I got it, but I didn't think it was that great. I didn't think the execution was very well on it.
I don't know the name of the woman, the female actress in it, but she did a great job. I mean, I don't like the movie, but like just her facial features and like the emotion and kind of that anxiety, you know, that kind of just fear and any other emotion you can think of was written all over her face throughout the movie. She did a phenomenal job from that standpoint. And an otherwise a non-entertaining film as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, when it comes to Nope, it feels like if you were to take 10-year-olds, out of class and say, give me a 5-minute horror movie that you want to write. And then they came up with things, and then they just threw all that shit together into one movie. and it didn't even have to, have any cohesion at all. That might have been what they did, actually. But
wouldn't that have been amazing, though, had that movie, like, really just killed it and everybody thought it was amazing, and that's what he did do. Like, it's kind of like putting your child's picture up in, like, the Louvre, and everybody's like, oh my god, look at how they used color, and it's like, yeah, my 5-year-old drew that, so.
I agree, but
I don't even think the pretentious people got into Nope like that, honestly.
when I found out that it was like literally a flying kite, it just, oh man, I was just so distraught with that. Like, it was so bad. It was so
Steve
bad.
was distraught, guys.
I was, but on the other hand, with Liza, how do you pronounce his last name?
M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes,
That would be his whole name.
that's his whole name. But and you completely dropped the ball on what I was going for. But
Shyamalan Dong.
there you go. I'm going with him. And even though The Sixth Sense is that iconic movie of his, and I like it, I think I enjoyed Split better. And
What?
I did.
Really?
I really did. Yep. And not so much the branches off of Split, but the original, the first one. I really, really enjoyed.
Well, I have backed Shyamalan up on this show numerous times. Everybody knows that I'm a Shyamalan fan, and I'll say it one more time, probably not the last time, but every time I watch one of his movies, and I'm not saying that there's a twist, I understand that every time there isn't the Shyamalan twist, every time it's not super surprising, but I will say every time I watch one of his movies, I see something that I've never seen before. The guy tries to do new and interesting things. I respect and appreciate that because right now there's just so much stuff being repeated in Hollywood, and there's so many movies that are just being redone or they seem like rehashed old ideas. And the guy he's always doing something interesting. I remember watching Old with Eliza, and we were both just sitting there like, what? Like, what is going on? But it wasn't bad. It was just like,
Yeah, I thought it was
like,
good, but
what?
yeah.
Like, wow, I've never seen this before. Like, what is this? And that's the way I feel a lot with his movies, and it's not a negative thing at all. And even if I don't like his movies, I mean, even Lady in the Water, which was a huge miss in my opinion, it was still pretty original for what was
Yeah.
going on and what people were doing. So I am 100% going with Shyamalan.
Almost, and I don't want to steal all you guys' time, but almost in real time right now, I've kind of thought about it with a collection of different movies that he's done. I feel as though every single one of them is almost kind of, I hate to use that term, but that kind of slow burn. Like there's no nobody running and chasing anybody. There's no like fast pace or excitement. It's all just very methodical and very well thought out. Most of the time,
But,
decently
but I would
acted.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off. I
you're
thought
good.
you were done, Steve. But I would almost argue that though, because I am like the hater of slow burns. You guys know this, and even though I agree with you that it's like more his ideas or his movies are kind of more conceptual, if anything, probably is a word I'm thinking of right now. They still keep me interested. I've
Yeah.
never not
They-
been I've
they
never
do,
been
but-
disinterested in a Shyamalan movie.
I guess I don't know. When's the last time you saw somebody running in a Shyamalan? You know, like maybe there's not as an individual situation, but just it feels like it just moves at a slower pace, and it's not necessarily a bad thing for him.
Yeah.
But,
It does, but it doesn't. I mean, I agree with you, but I feel like it's different though than like
I don't
movies
really know
that I'm
the right
always
way to
talking about
explain
that
it.
are. Yeah, it's
Put a
It's
word.
unexplainable.
Like the pacing is kind of, I don't know, maybe it's not exactly slow, but maybe it's just really balanced.
Building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's constantly building. Maybe.
Building, yeah.
Well,
Mm.
I'll tell you one thing too. Like I've noticed about M. Night Shyamalan movies, and I guess the best way I can describe it is, they're scary, and they're not really scary, but they're kind of like The Sixth Sense was like terrifying, and The Beast and Split was really scary. The Village was scary, but I remember being in the theater watching Split, and I think you were with me, Jake, too. I think it was
We've seen a lot of his movies
Yeah.
together.
And I don't know if you noticed this or you saw it, but at the end, when the Beast is talking to the girl and he doesn't attack her, and he tells her that she's pure, the girl in front of me was literally bawling. And I think that M. Night Shyamalan has an incredible ability to bring like twists and thrillers and make you scared, but he packs in so much emotion into it as well. Like the emotion of in The Sixth Sense, when the little girl, like when she was throwing up and she was sick and you realized what her mother was doing, or at the end of Split, when the Beast, he told the girl she was pure. The Village, like you realize what the Village is. He brings so much emotion into these. I guess that's where the slow burn comes from, because he builds this up and builds it up and builds it up, but then he makes it something so incredibly beautiful. So I think that ability that he has makes him such an incredible filmmaker and such an incredible storyteller.
I agree, and I would say that that's something that Jen always talks about as important to her. I would say that he does a great job with character development, because
Yeah.
while you're sitting here talking about this, I don't think he's made a single movie that I didn't feel like I kind of knew and understood his characters.
Yeah.
You know,
But in a way, almost kind of like what Seinfeld used to do for comedy back in the day. You'd see like a bunch of stuff going on, and then all of a sudden at the end, it just all came together.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mm.
wow, that's kind of cool, and that's in a lot of ways what he does from a horror perspective. And Liza is right. There is always kind of there's that emotion, but there's always that kind of underlying agenda that he was trying to achieve in that movie, kind of
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
or set apart from what the actual story was telling. So
Absolutely.
He
yeah,
does
I'm
well.
actually seeing a little more depth in his movie, just thinking about it now more. So definitely, I'm going to take him for
He's a very deep guy.
Jordan.
Let's see, Jen, what do you got here? We got Peele
Mm.
and Shyamalan.
Okay, so I know that on our previous episode, when it was between Rob Zombie and Peele, I chose Peele.
Yes, I don't know
However, however, this time he's against Shyamalan, and I even before y'all were like, talking him up.
Gushing.
Yeah, gushing. I had already made my decision of Shyamalan.
I don't know if I believe you now.
So,
Because
no,
you
really,
said that after we were done.
I mean, I wrote it
gushing.
down.
All right, so
Um,
we've got the Shyamalan fan club. Jen, what were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say that I have chosen Shyamalan.
Nice.
And I mean, I feel like y'all put it like way more eloquently than I can. Because I mean, neither one of these directors are like my favorites. You know what I mean? Like neither one of them owns my heart like some of these other ones do.
Shyamalan's in
Um,
my top 5 for
Yeah, I
real,
know.
for real. So,
But Shyamalan has done some really great movies that I really did love. Of course, The Sixth Sense. Everybody fell in love with that movie, I think. I don't think there's one person in this world that did not like The Sixth Sense.
It's true.
So, and it's super famous.
You got to have some balls to kind of Stan Lee yourself into your own movie every once in a while too. Like
Yeah.
throw your own character in there, which I think
Well,
he's
that's
done
a-
in almost all of his movies, or pretty close to it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that was, I want to say that tradition was really started with Alfred Hitchcock. Did that a lot. Scripting himself and his own.
Was he in all of his movies? Like as a little cameo?
I'm not sure if he was in all of them, but I
I
know
don't
that
think
he.
so. He's been
he
in several of
cameos.
those.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got the Shyamalan fan club. Let's see what the people thought. Is it Mike Shyamalan?
I was gonna say, you told me Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele was taken down by Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on, and we have got.
How close was it? Did you
series.
say?
Sorry.
Oh, I just didn't think you
It
said it.
was fairly close, closer than it should have been, and Shyamalan only won. Oh wow, he only won by 0.3.
What?
Point
No,
three.
that's
What?
ridiculous.
That's pretty
0.3.
close.
That's ridiculous.
That's the closest one.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that
I
is.
think so, yeah.
I tried not to look at these numbers when I put them down because I really didn't want that to, I didn't want to wear it on my face or anything.
That's wild.
So I wrote them down a while ago, and I've kind of been calculating them as we go. We have a huge match up next, and that is Robert Eggers versus George Awesome Romero. You guys already know. I mean, I have nothing really to add to this except for you all know I'm going with Romero, and that's what I'm doing. So,
I expected that.
Eggers is sleep medication, and Romero is the king of zombies. So,
He is.
Yeah, I don't think there's much. I just spent 40 minutes talking about Shyamalan, so I'm gonna agree with Jake here and leave it at that.
well, I think the real wild card here is Liza, because Liza is a Eggers fan. And I do want to also go back here and because I want to make sure that we don't miss this. Not that it changes my opinion at all. But the movies that we have for Eggers is The Witch, Nosferatu, and Lighthouse. And the movies that we have for Romero are Night of the Living Dead, The Amusement Park, and Dawn of the Dead. Which that does not sway my opinion at all. I'm 100% George Awesome Romero's camp. Liza, we need to hear from you.
I think I don't know. I hate to say this, but I think Bill Skarsgård.
I don't think you do.
I know.
You're not voting for actors.
I
by
know,
the way.
I know.
This isn't like Bill Skarsgård versus Jeff Goldblum, just so you know.
The actors in movies sway my opinion. I'm such a Bill Skarsgård fan. I'm such a fangirl of his. He is just so, Nosferatu. I love Night of the Living Dead. I thought it was really, it's great. But I really loved, I don't know why I like Nosferatu so much. I don't know. I know it's a weird movie. I know it's kind of like slow. But I just thought it was just interesting to me. I just loved the whole vibe. I loved the scenes, the stills, I don't know. I just think I think it's Robert Eggers. But I mean, I can see the big A too, but it's got to be Robert Eggers.
Well, you just made it sound like it's asshole.
The big A.
Are you basing this a lot, Liza?
Going through the big A and don't mean asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I know it's bad.
Well, I mean, I was just wondering if you were familiar with the other movies and if you liked them as much, the ones that he did.
No, I really do. I have seen Night of the Living Dead. I think it's really good. I'm not as much into like the gross stuff as much as you guys are. Yeah, I mean, I love it, and I saw it with my friend pretty recently, like a couple of years ago, and I really did like that movie. But I don't know, Nosferatu was just, and I really don't even like The Witch that much, but Nosferatu was just good. I just love that movie.
I can't wait to sleep through
I liked it a whole lot as well.
It's gonna be a good one to, and that's what sucks is that I love Bill Skarsgård, and I was really excited about Nosferatu, and then like I just kept like unpacking it in my head, and I'm like, man, I'm really disappointed that like a Bill Skarsgård movie is gonna put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Come on, give it a chance.
It's
it
just
almost put me to sleep in the middle.
that one scene in the snow in the carriage, that scene is just such a good scene. I just love that scene.
God, that sounds like a great scene.
Yeah, and when he's at Orlok's castle. But yes, I jumped on the bandwagon or the boat.
No, we're on a boat.
Shall we say?
I made it very clear that this is a Romero boat.
Yeah. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat to fit all of the Romero winning that we're hopefully gonna have here in a minute.
So I am also an Eggers fan. I'm a fan of both of these. Both of these directors are great, in my opinion. However, Eggers, he is a little bit more new. He hasn't really gained popularity until I don't know, 10 years ago maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
Yeah. About a decade.
And Romero, I'm going to say what I said, more similar to the situation with Del Toro versus Carpenter. I think seniority is going to take this. I just feel like Romero is he's very iconic. He's got some heavy hitting horror movies under his belt, and
more than just zombie movies too.
True, but he is the king of zombies.
Yeah,
so many movies.
I mean, if you talk about zombies and don't bring up Romero, I'm almost curious if you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
True.
I know a lot of people in my life that will be disappointed with me, but
yeah, I think Romero defined an era with his zombie movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just can't overlook that. So he edged out Eggers.
Yeah.
Romero.
And I agree with that 100%. I don't think there'd be The Walking Dead or any of these movies today if it wasn't for Romero. I think he literally wrote the book on zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the writer of the zombie world. All right. So with that being said, I apologize again for cutting off Jen. That's very rude of me, people. But we're going to go ahead and do the compute thing now. George Awesome Romero for the win.
No surprise.
This one literally was 1 point.
They-
Oh, wow.
1 point. Not 0.1, but 1 point. So there's still a bigger win than the last one that we saw, but 1 point.
It's funny. I'm not mad at some of these, so.
Well, you're not mad at some of these because we've gotten to the point now where, like, they're all winners, pretty much.
This has been Psychopinions March Madness Director's Edition. Thank you for watching, and please come back to see our next bracket's great face-off. See you soon!